Hello and welcome. Welcome to our 40-minute mindful ride. Good to have you here. My name's Michael. Let's all just reach down and adjust our resistance so that it's exceptionally light. We want to start off today just warming up, loosening up the muscles, focusing the mind, becoming a little more present, and see if we can't get into a nice flow state today. The allergy season is hitting here very strongly, so I might have to clear my throat a few times today. But let's go ahead and start. Get ourselves into a good position. One of the things I like to do is to just sit up nice and tall on the bike while still pedaling, keeping the resistance very light and the leg speed really slow. And what this does is reinforces the idea that our pedaling is done from the hips down. The upper body has nothing to do with it. So we can just let our arms hang to the side. Maybe shake the arms out. Let the shoulders relax. And maybe just kind of stack your spine so that the weight of your upper body comes down the spine and rests onto your sit bones. As you just pedal nice and smoothly and easily. And I want you to remember, for the rest of the class, even when we come back down to the handlebars, that our pedaling stroke is driven from the lower back and hips, and the upper body should remain calm and relaxed. So there's a kind of dynamic movement in the hips, and we're not twisting or torquing the upper body around. We're keeping it relaxed. Let's come on back to the handlebars now. Let's check in with our posture. First thing I like to do is just wiggle my fingers. Make sure I'm not gripping the handlebars too tight. And just resting the weight onto the heel of my hand. And then coming up the arms, check to make sure that your elbows are just slightly bent, so that you don't have that locked arm posture that's so common. That locked arm posture introduces stress, tension into the upper body. We want to relax that. And at the same time, we just let our shoulders away from the ears. Now check with your spine and your neck. And I want you to think of them as kind of aligned. The line from the base of your skull down to the bottom of your spine is neutral and relaxed and calm. We're not arching one way or the other, and we're just relaxed, settled onto our bike, becoming one with the bike. And now finally check your resistance to make sure it's nice and light, and we're just moving the legs at a nice slow speed, just bringing some warmth into the muscles, letting them warm up. Good, and we'll refer back to these body positions frequently during class. Think of what we're doing as like yoga, but with the cardio of cycling. We try to get into the moment, try to focus the mind, try to be as present as possible. That's the goal. Good. Now, bring in your leg speed up a little bit. Using your light resistance you already had. We're going to shoot for just about 80 RPM, and as we look for that rhythm with our legs, let's remember to keep the upper body relaxed, pedal from the hips, hands light on the handlebars. Just take a deep breath now from a relaxed belly. Feel for this rhythm. legs right now are right about at the rhythm we're looking for. Super light. Nice and easy. Keeping the hips separate from the upper body. We stay relaxed, calm breathing from a relaxed belly. Let's go ahead and add just a tiny bit of resistance right now, just enough that you feel it in the muscles of your legs. Not very much at all. Just the minimum amount where we can feel it in the muscles of the legs. Take a deep breath, relax the belly, check your posture. Let's add a little more resistance now. And let's pick up our leg speed to around 90. And at this point, we're going to start to feel a little discomfort in the muscles of the legs. That's good. This is what we want. You'll notice the breath starting to come up, yeah? Now, for those of you on a fixed gear spin bike, which by the way, this is not. This is free will. You see how I just stopped my legs? I can go backwards, you see that? This is a free will bike, like the kind you ride outside. Most of you will be on a fixed gear, where that wheel is locked to the pedals. So I want you to make sure you always have at least a little bit of resistance on. And because that wheel tends to propel our legs around in a circle, we need to concentrate on those bikes more on creating the circle ourselves. So one of the best ways we can do that is by imagining scraping mud off the ball of the foot as you come through the bottom part of the pedal stroke. That'll engage your calves and your hamstrings. There's a tendency to just push down with the quads and then let the momentum carry you around. And I want you to avoid that. I want you to engage all of your muscles to get the most out of the cycling movement. So let me give you 15-20 seconds to close your eyes and feel for that scraping mud off the ball of the foot, okay? Take a deep breath, feel for that. And as our thoughts start to wander to the future or to the past, just come back to this motion, this moment. Use the sense of effort in the muscles to help keep you present. Let's add a slight bit more of resistance. And now bring your leg speed up even faster. And I want you to look at my hips. Do you notice they're not bouncing in the saddle? They're steady, dynamic, but not bouncing. I'm using my lower back and my hips to push over the top of the pedal stroke, scraping mud through the bottom, involving the leg in the whole circle. So your breath should be coming up now. And we're just making beautiful, smooth, powerful pedal strokes now. Let's reach down, slow the legs, reduce your resistance. Sit on it like I am again. Shake out your arms. Notice the heart rate, notice the breathing. Elevated from when we started. So we're ready to get into some heavier work now. So using your innate sense of rhythm, allow your legs to align with the rhythm of this music. And I can tell you, thinking about it makes it even more hard. So just be with this. And just allow the legs to find the beat. Okay, you got it? My legs are on the rhythm now. This is about 60 RPM. At this pedal speed, we climb. So to climb, we need to add resistance till it feels uncomfortable in the muscles of the legs. So go ahead and do that right now. Add that resistance in till it feels like you've entered a moderate hill. Good. Now here's a little hint. If you've entered into a hill at this pedal speed, that is, if your resistance is heavy enough, you'll feel your hips pushing over the top of the pedal stroke. If you don't feel that, I want you to actively engage that part of the pedal stroke. You'll feel it through the heel of the foot. And that's that torque you see in my hips right now. Notice my hands are still light, upper body still relaxed, shoulders still down. Okay, now in 3, 2, 1. I want you to slow down without touching the resistance knob. So we have relatively high resistance on now. That's what our hill was. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to turn that resistance faster, more times per minute. That's harder work on a bike. Turning the same resistance more times per minute equals increased power output from the muscles of your legs. Heart will respond by coming up. It'll beat faster. Your breathing will respond. It'll become faster to deliver working muscles the oxygen they need. So come on back to your handlebars now. And let's bring our legs up to 76 or so RPM. And now is a good time to notice the extra work that we're feeling in the muscles of the legs. Do you notice that? Same resistance. And if this is causing you to get out of breath, that's absolutely perfect. We won't be here for long. So just stay here with me. Focusing on the body, the breath. When the mind wanders, just come back to the sensations of the body. Dialing your resistance down to very light. Remember, on your fixed gear bike, don't take the resistance all the way off. Keep a little bit on. And notice your breathing now. How rapid is it? If you have a heart rate monitor, check it out. Our goal here in Revo Cycle classes is to focus and tune in and be present. It is not to not work hard. In fact, we can work harder, get more work done when we tune in and focus. So your heart rate and your breathing should have picked up quite a bit on that last song. All right, we're back to light resistance, yeah? Let's bring our leg speed up. Let's come up into the mid-90s with light resistance. And we're going to do our best now to keep the hips nice and steady on the saddle without bouncing. The upper body stays calm and relaxed. There's a trick I like to teach people. I call it the champagne glass trick. Could you hold a champagne glass without spilling it? It's a good measure of how calm your upper body is. Shoulders down, elbows soft, holding high 90s at light resistance. Just allow yourself to settle into this. And slow your legs down. Maybe sit up again. So you hear I'm a little out of breath, yes. And I'm in really good cycling shape, but that amount of resistance turned at that speed for that length of time caused me to get a little out of breath. You will have a different amount of resistance, but you had the same length of time and the same pedal speed. We're going by feel, right? Okay, using your light resistance. Let's find this rhythm. It's a beautiful mind-body practice. To just close your eyes and allow your legs to find the beat. It's a beautiful practice. All the while, we're keeping the upper body relaxed. The shoulders are away from the ears. And if you'd like now, you can add some resistance to bring in some challenge to the muscles. We only have about 30-40 seconds left in this song. If you'd like to make it extremely difficult, you can, just by adding more resistance. If you'd like to make it moderately difficult, you can. But definitely add to the challenge we were at. Okay, you ready? We're going uphill and we're coming out of the saddle for the first time today. Align your legs to the rhythm. It's about 65 if you have a computer on your bike. Now let's add resistance. It makes it feel like an extremely challenging hill. One that makes us nervous. That's our key. If the mind is going, oh my gosh, I'm not sure I can do this, then you're probably doing what I'm doing. One and two and three and four and one. Just feel that rhythm. Now this is a perfect time, you guys, to feel your hips pushing over the top. We do not want to make this all quads. The pedal stroke is a full circle. We're pushing over the top with the glutes, scraping through the bottom with the calves and hamstrings, and yes, the quads in between that. Getting out of breath. Heart rate coming up. If it's not, add some more resistance. We're climbing a hill now. This is going to get us breathless. So those of you new to RevoCycle, when we come out of the saddle, we add massive resistance to the point where we can't pedal seated anymore. So holding this rhythm, I'm going to ask you to add resistance till you have to stand. It's a beautiful practice. So let me count you into it, okay? And by the way, we only stand for a few seconds at a time because the resistance is so heavy, so don't be afraid. In 3, 2, 1. Add that resistance, super heavy. Rise into it, nice and tall, stepping through the glutes. Notice how light my hands stay. Now, easing back on the resistance, come back into the saddle. Let's stay in your hill. Most definitely out of breath now. Okay, bring it all the way back to light resistance and sit up for a second. Keep the legs turning. So those of you with a heart rate monitor on, that'll get your heart rate up, if you're doing what I'm doing, to 80-85% of your max. If you don't have a heart rate monitor, that's okay. Just notice how out of breath you get. That standing with extra heavy resistance might be new to you. But on a bike outside, we stand when the resistance is really heavy, like we shift to a really hard gear on the flat road, or we've just hit a really steep hill. And we stand to bring our body weight into the pedal stroke. That's why we do it. And it's by definition incredibly hard. You can't do it for very long. So if that's new to you, just allow yourself to trust yourself to bring in enough resistance. Just allow that to happen. So right now, you guys, let's just find a light to moderate resistance. And let's bring our legs up to flat road pedal speed. Let's do a quick body scan, shall we? So we're into exercise mode now. We're working. Just at a moderate level. I want you to close your eyes. Starting with your hands, notice how much weight is on your hands. Really notice. Pay attention to that. How does it feel underneath the handlebars? And then make your way up the arm, noticing if your elbows are locked. If they are, release them a little bit, and then come to your shoulders. Make sure they're down and away from the ears. All right, we're going to practice a couple times coming out of the saddle at extra heavy resistance. But we're going to approach it a different way this time. We're going to start with light resistance and just find this rhythm. Take a deep breath. We're at light resistance. All we're trying to do now is align the body to the rhythm of the music. Okay, you got it? Computer people, it's going to be around 65, 66, right in that ballpark. So we have a rhythm set. We're not in a hill, this is light resistance. But when I give you the countdown, we're going to add massive resistance to the point where we can't pedal it seated and we have to stand up onto it. And we'll be driving our body weight down into each pedal stroke through the glutes. I know, this is going to be hard, but each one will be short. Each one will be short, then we'll come back to this to gather our breath. Let's set our intention. Let's come back to center if our minds are wandering. All right, you ready for our first one? The sequence is we hold the rhythm, add resistance till it's too hard to pedal seated, then rise up onto the pedals, staying at the rhythm. All right, in 3, 2, 1. Add that resistance, hold the rhythm, rise up into it. Now notice I'm tall. My hands are light. I'm driving my body weight. You see that? I just have a thumb here. Most of my weight is going into the pedals. Nice and tall, chest is high. Now come back. Light resistance. Check your rhythm. That's how you get in shape on a bike, you guys. Huge power output, extremely hard effort, standing short periods of time. You ready for our second one? Take a deep breath, maybe grab a quick drink of water. Take a couple deep belly breaths. And this time, watch what I do. Notice how I add resistance as I hold the rhythm, and then I just rise up onto the pedals, keeping my hands light. Let's count into it. 3, 2, 1. Adding resistance, holding the rhythm, rising up. Get those hips involved. We want to transfer the weight through the glutes as we step side to side. All right, come on back. Light resistance on the rhythm. You getting it? One more to go. Check your rhythms, bring your mind back to center, notice those thoughts, just notice them, then come back to the center. Come back to the feeling of the rhythm and the muscles. In 3, in 2, in 1. Add that resistance, rise up, hold your rhythm. Nice and tall. light resistance, slow pedaling. I don't have a heart rate monitor on, but I know from my breathing that my heart rate is in the 160s right now. I just know that from my breathing. That's how hard I was working. So you check your breathing or your heart rate now. At Revo Cycle, we teach by feel. You notice how I never say, give me a half turn or a quarter turn of the knob? The reason is, of course, every bike is different. So it's not the same amount of resistance you add with a half turn or quarter turn on every bike. But also, even if all the bikes were the same, a half turn would feel different for me than it would for you, right? A half turn for Lance Armstrong would feel much easier than a half turn for me. So we go by feel. And the feeling of standing like that is so hard that we couldn't do it for a minute or so. That's how heavy it is. So right now, can you align your legs to the rhythm of the song using extremely light resistance? We're going to do a mind-body practice as we just allow our body to find this rhythm. Well, good. How you feeling so far? One of the beautiful things about aligning our legs to the rhythm is that it requires us to pay attention. And when we pay attention, our mind's not wandering into the future or the past. It's a mind-body practice. And when our mind's not wandering to the future or the past and we're in the moment, our stress levels reduce. That's important. So we've got light resistance right now, and we're turning relatively slow. So this is a recovery. Your heart rate should be coming down, your breathing should be slowing down. This is not hard, it doesn't hurt the muscles. We're allowing the body to do some active recovery. All right, before we cool down, are you ready to do one serious climb seated and standing? Are you ready? Dial in your resistance. Let's make this a steep hill. Let's hit about 60, 61 RPM. About one pedal stroke per second. Shoulders are down. This is super important now. Shoulders relax, arms relax. Let this power come from the hips. You see that torquing motion? That's the lower back. Driving through the hips. Already I'm getting out of breath. Okay, you ready to practice your standing? In 3, in 2, in 1. Crank it up. Rise into the pedals, hands light. You know now we're not going to stay here a long time, so trust yourself to put on that heavy resistance. Now come back to moderate resistance, still in the hill. Legs are still challenged. Heart rate does not come down much at all from that standing piece. So we've got maybe a minute to a minute and a half left in the song. If you've got more, bring in more. You hear me? I'm out of breath. We're gonna rise again, out of the saddle, into the pedals. In 3, in 2, in 1. Add massive resistance, hold your rhythm, ease on out. Hands light, chest high, driving through the glutes. Now come back, we're gonna finish our hill in the seated position now. Drive those hips still. Feel it in the heel of the foot. Dial your resistance back. Pedal softly. There's no hiding it. I am very much out of breath. So compare your breathing to mine. Or look at your heart rate monitor now. Over time, you'll come to recognize that your breathing is related to your heart rate. And pretty soon you'll be able to estimate your heart rate just from how out of breath you are. They're fellow travelers. They go up and down together because they're doing the same job. Right? Delivering oxygen to working muscles. You breathe faster to get more oxygen into the blood. Your heart rate goes higher to deliver that oxygen more rapidly to the muscles. Doing a similar job. That's why they relate to each other. But now we're cooling down. Pedaling very light resistance. Slow pedal speed, allowing the body to recover. So together, let's just close our eyes, letting the belly relax so we can breathe from it. And one last time, let's do a quick body scan, starting with our hands. Maybe wiggle your fingers like I am. Move your way up your arms to check that your elbows are slightly bent. Arriving at the shoulders, make sure they're away from the ears. And then the neck and the rest of the spine in alignment. Nice, neutral spine. How's your breathing doing? Have you noticed it's slowed? Beautiful ride today. Now, let's take a couple seconds to just notice how we feel. It's the most important part. Noticing right now how we feel. Relaxed, peaceful, like we accomplished something, that we tuned into our bodies for at least a few seconds at a time. We were in the moment. This is all so good for us. So noticing these good feelings right now will help us build a lifetime exercise practice. So pay attention right now. Just take a few seconds. Beautiful. If you can, take out a little bit more resistance and slow your legs even more. And sit up nice and tall like I am. And let's let the legs slowly but surely come to a stop. And then we're just going to sit still and take a couple of deep breaths, feeling the belly expand as we do that. And then return to normal breathing. And again, notice this amazing feeling, right? Do you feel like your legs are a little tingling? Do you feel like your senses are more acute right now? Beautiful. That's mind-body cycling. Nice ride today, you guys. I'm going to leave you a couple of minutes to stretch. I want you to stretch your quads by pulling back on the ankle. Hold for 20 to 30 seconds each. And then you can stretch your hamstrings by putting your ankle on the handlebars or the seat or the top bar of your bike. And as you stretch, breathe from the belly. Concentrate on that belly breathing. I'll leave the music going for you for a couple minutes, okay? Thanks for being here today. Please make sure to subscribe to our channel by hitting the subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up if you like our classes. And down there, you'll see we have a PayPal account if you'd like to make a donation for our classes. Easy to do. Click that link. Anything that will help to keep us moving forward with our mind and body cycling. So thanks for being here. Do your stretching and we'll see you next time.